a beautiful Jessere welcome to Stanley Obi.
Thank you very much.
Stanley, are you single?
I'm not married.
Wow.
Is somebody unsingle with you? Wow, it's okay.
Wow.
You know,
Thank you, Tolu, for asking that progressive
we
question.
can't always ask from their perspective. We need to know if somebody thinks they're attached to you.
Yeah.
No. So I'll just answer it accurately. No.
Wow.
Okay,
wow.
better.
Stanley Obi. Ladies, I have his number.
Can we start?
Yes,
Thank you. So we have to start by congratulating you and Omoni Oboli as well on the magnificent feat, reaching 9 million in 5 days. That deserves something. And I hear that you guys are out for a record-breaking, record-setting
numbers. We're racing down to 20 million.
20. We'll be watching. We'll see what happens. So congratulations on that. But it seemed that as the numbers are racking up, enemies of progress were coming out from somewhere. Because shortly after the movie started raking up the numbers and getting attention, we woke up to a copyright claim. And I know a lot of people would really want to know how things worked out in terms of that, Stanley. Who is Chinoso Obiora, the relation to the movie and the copyright claim that many people woke up to?
Okay, I wouldn't want to speak more on that because every now and then we get, it was actually a drone shot that was used sparingly in the film. So the guy saw that, you know, the movie was raking numbers and then decided to come for the movie.
Wasn't he paid?
But it has been resolved.
That's
So it initially was a stock video.
It has been resolved.
No, it's understandable because, you know, we on this side, we understand that there are some situations we've had as well. But it's a good thing that you say it has been resolved and we saw the resolution.
Yeah, of course, the numbers is still there and the movie is up. Yeah.
Because I was so scared.
Yeah, so like you would lose all that view.
No, this is not happening. I feel like I was on money. What do we do? How do we salvage? So I'm glad that it's back.
You literally lose your mind if that happens.
Yes,
I mean, it was on 7 million plus, and then this came up. We weren't ourselves, actually.
I can imagine.
It cannot be easy.
Blessings.
Okay, so we have experienced our own online issues, like Tolu did mention, and as our head of digital likes to remind us, the rules change almost every day. Platforms are looking to see how they monetize the content posted on them. Content creators are sometimes left in the dark about why their content is flagged and how to solve the issues. And there are some individuals, opportunistic, need I say, because I feel like if that video was not making that much numbers, nobody would have come out to say. But yeah, you know, there's that. But thankfully, it has been resolved. What can you tell us are the processes that went into resolving this issue? Because I know Lolo went through something similar and it was a lot. You know, she had to write, was it a petition? She had to prove, attach videos, BTS, editing,
yes,
you know.
BTS.
So usually we have professionals, she has professionals that take care of that runs the channel. So there is, I can't say much about it because I was getting feedbacks, but we had people at the forefront that took care of that, and together, of course, with the woman king herself, Omoni. So she was able to, you know, resolve that, and that's the reason why we have the movie back with that number.
Wow. Anyway, you know, I myself am a producer and I've been trying my hands on YouTube, and I know that it's not easy.
It's not for
my brother. I feel like fainting, but he that setteth his hands upon thy plow can never look back. It's the only way. But it hasn't been easy. But you know, we see more and more Nollywood creators. Everybody just likes to come to the pie. Once somebody is getting attention or money is being made somewhere, everybody is getting, you know, wants to put their hands in it. And when it comes to negotiating, you know, a lot of people don't know that there are many platforms which you can put films. Something like we now have streaming platforms, which never used to be in the past. We only used to see streaming platforms take foreign content. But in the past couple of years, we've seen streaming platforms take, you know, Nigerian content, and they have their requirements. It got a bit more stringent recently, and I know that there had been a disappearing of some, and
Okay.
Yes, one exited so quickly. Just they even, I doubt if we had put a pillow on the chair before they left and went. So we know that some of those challenges are on the ground. But what makes you YouTube so attractive for many people like me? What do you think? Is it the money? But people think that because you post, it's not easy like that though to make the money. But what is the allure?
Okay, I happen to be around for 20 years now.
Wow.
Yes, to be.
You don't look it.
You don't
We thank God for that we don't look like what we've been through.
Of course. So I've seen different generation of filmmaking or filmmakers come and go. I've seen somebody rise from being a wakapas to a superstar. So in the past, it was very, very difficult to get to be a movie producer. Even to be a movie producer, it was secluded to a certain kind of people, which is the Alaba guys that run the business. So so now technology has made that very, very
it's cut out sort of those middlemen.
Middlemen.
Alaba was big that year.
Yes,
honestly.
they were like caught.
I remember when they used to blacklist actresses.
Of course.
So, but now we are missing that era because it brought discipline to the system, sanctity and structure to the system. But now anybody can be a filmmaker. I mean, we have cameras. Once you can tell a story, the YouTube platform is there for you to put your movie up, and you're getting revenue for your work. So I think technology has actually bridged that gap.
But in bridging that gap, because we talk a lot about the Nollywood conversation in terms of quantity over quality sometimes, that we can bring out all these films, but when you look at the quality of the majority of them are questionable. And we're getting to good quality now. But when you look at the fact that...
the story's texture.
Yes, the texture, the depth, the
because it made Nollywood.
Yes, the building of the characters, all of that. But if you're looking at technology, it almost makes it feel like we're going back to the beginning days where it was all comers affair. Maybe not all comers because it was expensive then, but all comers affair where anybody can just say, I'm doing a movie, create a channel and do it. So now as we see YouTube particularly, which is easier for many people than some of the other streaming platforms to get on, do you worry that we might go back to the era of quantity over quality?
Yes, of course I'm worried because just like I said earlier, I've been around for more than 2 decades now. So then it used to be quality storytelling. So the focus is actually getting a good script and well executing it. Now the focus is getting an actor that has numbers.
You're gonna go there.
And then just get a script and then throw to them, whether they read it before coming to set, it no concern you. You just want them to come. They have good RPM. They will give you the views. They will give you a post. They will dance, and then you have.
Do they really give you the return on investment?
Some does.
Some do, and many they don't.
Do not.
Yeah. There's this issue of overpricing.
Everybody thinks they're worth a certain amount.
Yes, because XYZ, or you've seen the numbers a little bit, maybe on your socials, and then you just feel like this person is collecting this particular amount. Yes, I can also do that. But again, it goes way beyond that. It goes. I think we should start focusing on the quality of your self-investment, how well you can interpret, and what you're bringing to the table. So I fear for my industry, but again, it's our individual responsibility to make sure, just like movie like this. So that's one thing I like about Omoni. She's very, very good with. Keen on choosing a very good story, especially I think that's the bedrock of every successful movie. So, and especially you as a director, if you have a good story, at least then you bring your nuances and the juices to make it a very good one.
Okay, so I mean, still speaking on quality over quantity, I'm very curious about a lot of things, especially whose responsibility it is to ensure that people deliver. Like you said, it's more about the numbers now. People don't. Sometimes I see movies and I'm like, is this supposed to elicit emotion from me? But we're going to talk about that very shortly. We'll go on a short break now. We're still talking storytelling with Stanley Obi. When we come back, we'll continue. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. It's still Jasiri, and if you've missed the conversation leading up to this moment, well, you're in luck because we're still talking about storytelling with Stanley Obi. And I was asking a question before you went. I wanted to say on leave. I think
you're not going on leave. So sorry for you.
Before we had the break, and I was talking about whose responsibility is it? I mean, who is the onus on to ensure standard? We're talking about maintaining quality over quantity, and we know that aside the craze for the actors that have followers, there's also the desire to want to just push out as many movies as possible, because now the mantra is you don't know which one will blow you. So that said, whose responsibility is it to maintain standard? I've seen movies where, they say the casting director casts somebody that is not entirely fit for but eventually in the course of rehearsing for the movie, they make the person into what they want to see. So they bring out the emotions, they bring out that anger that makes the person into the perfect character. Whose responsibility is it?
So, yes, it's actually the director's responsibility, but I'm going to play I'm going to answer it in two ways. Yeah, let me play to the defense of the director, yeah? So sometimes you're being constrained with time. Sometimes you don't have a say to who you cast in a particular role. And then the producer just throw somebody, maybe a cousin or a sister, using sentiment or relationship, and throw somebody to you and say, this is the person playing this role. And then as a director, having to read the script, you're telling yourself, or you're trying to have this conversation with the producer, this person, are you, director, let's just try now. And then you succumb to that, and then you're trying to take as many takes or prep talk the person into, because the director's job is not actually to train you on set.
At all. So
this is a professional field, yeah? So you come on board, you are being hired to do this, and I believe, you want to believe that you know how to do it. It's not your responsibility, most times it's not your responsibility to train an actor on how to act, but you can guide an actor towards your vision. I think that's actually the answer. That's your sole responsibility as a director. Guiding and, basically having that conversation with the actor to work towards the vision, because one of your core, one of your job description is actually get the story and then get a direction to it, have a vision for this, know how best you want to communicate it, and then carry everybody along. You have the camera guys, you have the sound, you have the costume department, you have the actors. So just bring everything together. You are more like the chef here. So sometimes, so answering your question now, so some factors can actually deter that. Sometimes you don't have time, you are trying to work on an actor, and then the producer is coming and saying, time.
Because you paid for how many days on location.
Exactly. So time, more just go. I don't know, if you are insisting, they look at you that you're a time waster.
Yeah.
Because the actor that is supposed to sell the film is there. Just do this thing, Moku, let's leave here. So this happens mostly when you're doing platform movie, which I've done a lot of that. So many factors can actually limit you in getting or achieving what you want as a director.
When Blessings was asking that question, I was just thinking of I don't know if you guys saw the video. I think it was a Yoruba film. The guy was at home. The lady came home to meet her man. She came and they changed wigs.
She came in with
straight hair. Then they went to a cut and we came back and we saw wig. I'm like, what?
That's the continuity issue.
No, most times this is what happens.
But he's also director.
No, this is what happens. Yeah, no, it's someone's job.
Continuity.
So because director, you can't see everything, but you are advised to at least be the last person that will say, okay, pass it. More like if you say, next scene, we believe that you have
Give you a stamp of
yes, stamp
approval.
on the, yes.
Yes.
So you're supposed to do a due diligence before putting your stamp on the scene and say, okay, it's a wrap. Let's move on to the next one. But this is what usually happen. We shoot into the night and where everybody, they are fatigued, they are tired, and maybe there is a generator power outrage, they are going to on the generator, and the actor just decided to remove the wig and just relax to take a nap while they fix the light. And then, light is here, let's go.
And you pick the wrong wig.
Maybe the makeup assistant just grouchily pick one wig and then put it up.
I'm so sorry, I'm in corporate space. That excuse does not work.
No, but do you think, because there are two things I see here, budget and then multiple streams of income. Budget in the sense that you will see them using makeup artists as continuity. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, they try to
Maybe I should
Yeah.
ask Stanley, like, a lot of people do not know that different platforms calls for different kinds of budgets.
Yes.
So for like a platform like YouTube, people are shooting with as minimal a budget as they can because they believe that it's based on numbers. So even if you invest a lot and you are not making the numbers, you're not going to make any money.
Yes.
Would you say that is what affects the level of creativity?
Yes.
Or all these wishy-washy things that we see in YouTube, especially films?
Also, yes, I agree with you. I would say yes to that because we are being constrained by budget. And also, if you're working with, let's say, a platform like Rock, they have a QC, you can barely
Quality
notice,
control.
QC control that double check those things. So that's why you don't, as many of the YouTube guys, you can't get your movie, or your movie might not scale the QC control for some of those platforms because they take it seriously. But if you're doing YouTube, it's just your level of creativity and what you know about filmmaking. It can be shallow. And that shallowness will reflect on your page.
But so part of the numbers conversation is sometimes even if the shallowness reflects, somebody like me might watch and be like, what's this? There are people who are hyping them up. There are some, they may not get the numbers of 9 million that we're talking about, but they're getting some numbers that encourage them to keep going. And because, as you said, there's no QC and there's no correction, they'll continue that line, making that level of quality of movie. Probably saying it's their village people that are stopping them from blowing, but not thinking back to what they're inputting in. I want to quickly ask this, because we got to that. What do you think makes a Nollywood movie stand out among the crowd? And I'm not talking about the crowd of, we've done 5 movies every day, Enugu. What was the guy who told us how many movies they come out with every week in Enugu? And that's their machine. It works for them. But now where there's competition in their eyeballs on Nollywood and films coming out of Nigeria in particular, what do you think makes a Nollywood movie stand out?
Story.
Simple.
Simple story. Get a good story and get a good director. Because a bad director can
spoil a good movie, a good script.
Are you sure it's not hype though? Because honestly, if a clip, I'll give an example. The reason I watched that movie was because of the hype. That's the money. And then I found out that the storyline was
good.
Exactly.
The storyline was properly told.
Yes, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't have known until I have watched it.
Okay.
So the reason why I watched in the first place is because of the hype. So are you sure that it's not, these days, once there's a clip that is doing well on TikTok or Instagram, your movie is sure to do numbers?
No. I mean, we have little, or if you're talking about some of the stories that has gotten that number, you just maybe Ruth with she has a movie like that that blew out of proportion. Then Uche
Montana?
Uche, no, not Montana, Uche
Chijembo?
Mbonabo.
Okay.
Uche Mbonabo, yeah. He has something like that, and then Omoni is here. So Omoni is breaking
Bimbo
the record
Ademoye
actually,
Yeah.
and then Bimbo, of course. Then Omoni is breaking
All the records right now.
all the records, setting a new one. So, but story and a good director.
All right, we'll keep it on that story and the director because we still have some more convo coming up after this break, but we need to go on a quick break now. We'll return soon.
On Wednesday, news broke that the producers of the film Gangs of Lagos have agreed to issue an unreserved apology to the Isale co-descendants union, the Baju Laye chieftaincy family and the Shashore chieftaincy family for misrepresenting and disparaging the cultural heritage of the Eyo masquerade, as well as misrepresenting the nature and long-standing traditions of the Isale Co people in the film. Now, this agreement is part of a court-approved settlement endorsed by Justice Idowu Alakija of the Lagos High Court, formally resolving the disputes between the above-named parties, as well as Amazon Web Services, along with 11 other parties. The movie was released in 2023, and shortly after the release, the Isale Co-Descendants Union, along with the Baju Laye and Shashore chieftaincy families, filed a suit regarding the portrayal of the Eyo in the film. The announcement on Wednesday has many talking about cultural representation inside film in the place of artistic expression or liberty. So, Stanley, as we start wrapping up the conversation, you're a director.
Yes.
There's sometimes the saying that life imitates art or art imitates life, but the belief is that there's a level of expression and liberty that directors and filmmakers have in portraying certain things and bringing movies to light. What do you think about this? Not necessarily about this case in particular, but it's a good jumping point about the representation of Nigerian culture in Nollywood, by Nollywood, from Nollywood. What are your thoughts?
To Nollywood.
Okay, so most times we tend to, we as directors, we can take, if something is aesthetically okay for a film, we go with it, not minding the cultural misrepresentation.
Nuances, yes.
Nuances. So she felt like, okay, I like this idea, but it can be an oversight. Most times when you're shooting, when you're filming, you would never have imagined that people would take it out of context.
Yeah.
So maybe I think for her that's actually what happened. But yeah, good to know that they have resolved it. They are in the process of resolving it.
But I just even want to know that, there's some cultural things that are very, very dear to us in Africa. And we have to portray it in films. Is there a line we cannot cross? Like the Oshun, like, those
the Oshun Festival,
Obatala, Shango, Amadioha. Do we have to be culturally right? Or we can just about representing it? Maybe Amadioha now. There must be practices to how it's been evoked. Must we follow it hook, line, and sinker, or have we allowed some,
So let me ask like this. So what's her name? The lady that did Wicked, the black lady.
Yeah.
She's been cast to play
Cynthia
Jesus.
Erivo.
Yes, she's been cast to play Jesus in the next Broadway adaptation of, I think, Technicolor Jesus or whatever, I can't remember. There's a lot of outcry from Christians that Jesus was not a woman.
Yeah.
So you can also think about in terms of some situations in our cultural heritage where women didn't portray or didn't do certain things. Somebody now wants to come and say, you know what, in my film, this particular person who's always been known as a man in real life is going to be a woman. That takes the artistic liberty of something that is a traditional and cultural belief and says, for this film, I want to represent it differently. What happens in that regard? Do we take it too far? Because sometimes in pushing the envelope, we want to bring about cultural conversations. And when I watched it, I understood the representation. It was striking to me.
Yes.
But the owners of it are saying that is not the representation that we want of your culture.
Yes.
So we have to think about it, because this judgment could also be setting a precedent as to how representation is done when it comes to cultural and traditional things.
So I think we should always do our due diligence when we are doing. Some people take their culture
very personal.
Very, very personal. Let me not even go to the Edo people. Yeah. So I've shot there and I almost got into one big trouble telling Inoge's story. Yeah. Or Oba story, yeah, something like that. Even the actor will tell you, pop and plain, sir, I will not do it.
Wow.
Yeah, they are like that.
Wow.
They will tell you, sorry, sir, no,
It's not me and you.
It's not me and you. It's not like this. They will give you direction, and you think they are joking. They will walk out of your set.
Wow.
Yeah, they are that keen about it. I think people should, if they are like that, just allow them be, and then you can. There's no one way that leads to the market.
Yeah.
You can also, tilt or try to make adjustments, especially when you feel like it's going to put a negative impression or spin to your story. So find other ways you can convey or other elements that you can use in telling that story.
So what do we, I did this like, Nigeria, we're really trying to compete adequately with the world and tell stories like Americans would tell stories. And of course, if it's a Tyler Perry movie, I'm going to expect some nudity and, some very bigger
cultural thing.
Where's Tyler Perry? Because some of his movies too, he have wig issues. Some of his movies too, the acting is bad. Let us tell the truth.
It's bad.
Yes.
We know one series right now that's booming, but people, as much as people are watching, people are complaining
and criticizing.
You'll see written, produced, directed, something. So he doesn't have a writer's room.
Yes.
He writes everything himself. And that, come on. Okay, continue.
So
Sorry.
what would because we're trying to push and be internationally recognized. Do you think there's some envelopes? I've seen some films. I'm like, okay, are we moving closer? There are more nude scenes. There are more visual, representations of some sort. When I was young, you'd only see 2 legs on that. You would never see anything. But now I've been privileged to see some backside. Do you think that we're just merging with the standard of the world, or?
Because it's not do you think we need more critics? Because I feel like we're becoming too relaxed. I only know one off the top of my head in Nigeria right now. Do you think we need more local?
Yes, but there's another one that got chased out of criticizing. So that's the second part. And the last part, and because we don't have time, the last part of it is: do you feel like you bear responsibility for presenting Nigeria in a certain way to an international audience? Stanley, you have 1 minute to answer the question.
I don't know.
Yes. So for me personally, I feel like I do. I bear that burden to represent Nigeria, especially talking about my latest film. You see that the Igbo man was well represented. I was particular about it. I mean, the script says that Bam actually proposed to Odogu. I said no. I reworked on that scene. I said, yeah, you can actually give it as an idea, but Odogu disclaim and say, no, I'm a red cap chief. You can't. You can't. So that's me representing and repping my culture, which is the Igbo clan.
Okay,
so,
critics. Answer the question.
Yes or no? Do we need more? Yes or no?
Do we need more critics? Yes. It puts you on your...
Stanley, it seems you have to come back because we're really not done with you. How can you make the ladies overstep their time with your gentle ways? What a conversation we've had, the power of storytelling in Nollywood, to the battles over copyright protection. We didn't even get there. There's so many things that we could have discussed, but I want to say thank you to Stanley Obi for coming.
And congratulations on 9 million.
Thank you
and congratulations on all the work we'll probably do together.
Yes, definitely.
Selling my market.
Okay, bye.
From all of us, it's bye for now.
Bye-bye.